here's the idea. We start with the end in mind, and what we want to do is really we want to connect and support new generations of peace builders and war abolishers, so change makers in many different countries around the world. That's our end point. I think I'll skip that one. I'll skip. Is, well, how do we Phil, in for example, South Sudan, World Beyond War, which I've spoke about before. World Beyond War is a global grassroots organisation with membership in 190 countries, and our focus is to end war, to end the war system. Okay, and the way in which we do that is through a mixture of education and action. We have global recognition. We have won the Global Educators Challenge. There's only 10 organisations around the world that have won this, based on our approaches to educating young people and communities around peace building work. We are working with Rotary. So Rotary is also a global organisation, and they have 1,200,000 members around the world. They have 36,000 clubs. We have a memorandum of understanding with the Rotary Action Group for Peace to work on this project. The project has two parts. One, peace education. Two, peace action. So when we talk about peace education, and I've got to say actually, we have courses. We work with people from South Sudan already, actually. We work with many people in South Sudan on the ground already. Interfaith Community is one organisation that we work with. Will be 6 weeks online peace education, so people go online and study, and they can work on it 3 to 5 hours per. So the young people will have mentors. So for example, the 100 youth will have 10 young people from 10 different countries, and each of those 10 countries will have 2 mentors, kind of elders or senior people who will act as mentors to support young people through the process. In the 6 weeks, we will cover what we call the head, the heart, the hands of peace building. So this is looking at, the head part is looking at theories, ideas, concepts related to peace, conflict, violence and power. The heart part is looking at how do we be better human beings, how do we be in relationship with other people, how do we communicate more effectively. So my doctorate work is in international conflict analysis, but I'm also a psychotherapist as well, so I very much look at how do we look at the psychosocial development of people. And then the last 2 weeks, weeks 5 and 6, look at how do we develop projects? So how do we design, implement, evaluate projects? Here's a little thing that I'm working on. Here's the model. So basically we think that good education needs to look at intellectual intelligence. So this is what we know, the knowing part. But also emotional intelligence. How do we be in relationship with other people? And then finally, it's okay to know something. It's okay to be something, but you need to actually use your hands and do something and do projects. So this is the practical intelligence part. Here's a little bit about what we will cover in week 1 and 2. We will look at an introduction to peace building, some core concepts, what is violence, what is power, what is peace, and so the 4 core concepts. Here's a model which we use at World Beyond War. It outlines a blueprint for ending war. And then we move on to week 3 and 4, which is 1 week we'll look at, week 3 we'll look at ways of being with self, and week 4 we'll look at ways of being with others. So we'll learn things that you guys are doing right now: active listening, how do we listen more effectively to other people, etc. How do we dialogue and talk about issues, etc. And then week 5 and 6 will support people to design, implement and evaluate the peace projects. So there's the peace education part. Hopefully that makes sense so far.
Yeah.
The peace action part is where young people and communities take what they've learned in the community and then do projects in their So would look different to a project in Syria, would look different to a project in Venezuela. So this is the idea that they develop context-specific peace projects. One of the other really good things, but we need to think about internet, but actually the internet's been pretty good today actually with regards to, connection here, and I think this is something really, 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 really cool, really cool, that when the young people and adults are doing their projects for 8 weeks, every 2 weeks we will organise a Zoom call where people from South Sudan, people from Kenya, etc., have an opportunity to present their ongoing work and to learn from young people from Venezuela or young people from Colombia. So it's a real chance to learn from each other, so cross-cultural collaboration and learning. Hopefully that makes sense. So I think that's something really, really interesting about this project. So hopefully I've given a little bit of a perspective, and I want to leave lots and lots of time for questions, but the project is 2 parts: 6 weeks of peace education to peace project mentoring. It's developed by World Beyond War, and we have, our executive director has been nominated several times to the Nobel Peace Prize. We've had global recognition around the world for being very leaders with regards to education and peace building work. So here's a little bit about ourselves. A membership in 190 countries. We work with 500 plus organisations and tens of thousands of individuals around the world. Here's a little something about the people that we work with, some of the leaders in the peace building field. On our courses right now, and we've had people on our courses from South Sudan in the past, by the way. We've got another course, not the one that I'm talking about today, Peace Education Action for Impact. It's called War in the Environment, which is starting. Actually, there's one of our colleagues on the right-hand side from South Sudan who's taking one of our courses. We have people on our courses from high school right up until university level. We have people on our courses. The last course that we run, it was really cool. We had the youngest that we know was 13. The oldest that we know was 94. So what about that for a great intergenerational collaboration? And everybody from high school right up to PhD professors. So it's a real wonderful opportunity to learn together. I'll say something very briefly about this, but the impact of the project, we see it on 3 levels. 1, we will train 120 individuals in 10 different countries. 2, and that's the education part. 2, the action part. The young people in communities will actually do projects in their community, so they will address urgent, violent or community needs in each particular context. And then the 3rd one, we will actually end the projects with community celebration. So a wonderful opportunity for, let's say, yourself, Kenya or South Sudan, to show the work that they're doing to the broader community, to the broader, to more elders, to more people, etc. So we see that on 3 levels. Each team, each country, will be made up of 14 people. 2 coordinators who are kind of probably the pastor or people that are senior level leadership, who will have a role for organise the other 12. The other 12 will be 2 mentors, like I spoke about, and 10 young people. The 10 young people would be 18 to 35. Here's a little bit more information here of how it works, in terms of What I mean by centralised team, decentralised team, and decentralised multiple country teams is that, for example, in India, for example, or Nigeria is massive, okay? So we want to, there's three different options. One team can either come from Lagos, for example, a city, one particular town, or, and they all work together as a centralised team. Another option is that, for example, a decentralising country team would be 5 people come from Lagos and the other 5 come from another city, and they all work together. So it's still the same country, but they come from different locations. And then the third one is, we have interest, for example, there might be a joint team, Venezuela and Colombia, combining. So 5 young people from Venezuela, 5 young people from Colombia. So that's the decentralised multiple country teams. Hopefully I'm making sense, and I want to leave lots and lots of time for questions, because I understand there might be lots of questions. The cost of the programme, and we're going to be helping communities like South Sudan, we're going to be helping communities like Syria, like Venezuela to get the money to engage in this programme, because we understand $200 to someone in the US or UK or Canada is not much, but to someone in, perhaps, for example, South Sudan, Syria or Venezuela, it's a lot. So we have a fundraising campaign, We'll Be on War, to find the money to provide scholarships for students. So each student that goes through the programme will be receiving a $200 scholarship. And I've said a little bit about what this scholarship will cover. The programme aims to start in September. And so September for 6 weeks until the middle of October. And then the second part of the programme is middle of October till the middle of December. So that's the aim. Before then, we are recruiting and finding out who has interest in this project. I'm just thinking, you've got like so many wonderful kind of people from South Sudan, that are in Kenya. It would make a really interesting team. We already have one team from South Sudan, by the way, and from Kenya as well. But if there's enough interest from you, we can talk about maybe adding another team. I don't know. Let's see. We can talk about that. So that's what I wanted to say about that project. Meanwhile, I wanted to say a few other things. That if you're interested in peace work, there's many other ways to get involved with what we do. For example, one way is at World Beyond War. We have a World Beyond War Youth Network. And Gabrielle, hopefully you can be part of this, and other wonderful young people. And it's free. It's for young people from all around the world to engage with peace building work. It's free. If you're interested, please write to me. If you have young people that are interested, please write to me. Another way of engaging, we have at World Beyond War an online learning course right now that is free. It's a 4-week course. You can take it at your own time, and it's called Organising 101, and it's free. So it's another opportunity to engage with us. We have each Monday, today, wow, yes, today, the time goes. Today, we have what we call Youth Voices, that is free every Monday. There's an upcoming conference, so there's many ways to continue to engage. So I want to come off the shared screen a moment and basically hear from you, because I know I've spoke quite a lot, and I always like to leave a lot of time for questions and answers and things like that. So I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for listening to me. Hopefully you've got an idea of the project, the programme, and I'd love to hear any questions you have, any critiques, any thoughts, because we really want to, you guys are the experts because you're there, working on the ground, so we want to hear from you. So thank you so much for listening.